procedure from Power. So what is stored procedure? Storage is nothing but the set of SQL commands stored on the server. The TSQL code, transaction SQL code, is parsed once and run many times for stored procedure. What do you mean by parsed? Where let's when you write a SQL query, you might tend to make a mistake, syntax mistake, all the things, right? So whatever the query you submitted, behind the scene, the SQL engine checks whether you have any syntax error or something. If there are no syntax, that is called your parsing. And once your SQL query, right, is parsed, and you can run many times for your stored procedures. Stored procedure is something like a ready mix. Once you create the ready mix, you can use it as many times. It's something like you are preparing pickles in a bigger jar. Okay, so that pickles, you can, once you prepare it, you can use it for 2 months or 3 months, right? Reusable thing. Okay, likewise the stored procedure also you can use it. So that's why the advantage is I mentioned reusability. Write once and you can use it many times, and encapsulate business logic in one place. And that is also another advantage, the stored procedure, and make it easier to update and manage logic. Okay, and next one is the syntax for the stored procedure. Very simple one. This is the reserved word. Create procedure is the reserved word. Followed by that, you can give the name, whatever the name that you wanted. And you need to, if you want to use some parameters, you make sure that you are prefixing that with at symbol, at parameter 1, at parameter. Don't give parameter 1 parameter. You need to give some meaningful name. And this is just a syntax. Follow the parameters with the data type, and follow that. You can either specify or you can specify the value itself here. And here you see the parameter 1 is your input parameter. Parameter 2 is output parameter. In the stored procedure, you can use both the input parameter as well as the output parameter. Okay. That is the advantage of using stored procedure. And followed by the create procedure, you need to specify as, and followed by as, you need to specify the begin end. All all your SQL statements that needs to be coded inside this begin and end only. Here, this section is for parameter, defining the parameters. Okay. We'll start with a simple stored procedure without using any parameter. Okay. Create procedure name. I just go to the power, sorry, not power thing here. Create procedure. I say ESP, small letter, and display welcome. Okay, this is my, and then what is syntax followed by that? In here, I did not use any parameter. Not necessarily how to use parameter all the time, but the whole idea of using stored procedure is make your script reusable. Okay, but for the demonstration purpose, I did not use parameter. Welcome to procedure in SQL Server. I just printed it and then end. Okay, that's all. And here, create procedure followed by, I mentioned the procedure name, and followed by the as and begin end. Inside this, you need to specify, this is what your body. Okay, this is where you need to specify all your logic. I just execute. Let's see now if this is going to work. Yeah, procedure got created, command got executed. So how do I, once you create a stored procedure, you have to use it. Otherwise, it is waste, isn't it? How do I use it? Execute command, you need to use it, using which you need to call this procedure. I just followed by the execute. I just mentioned the stored procedure, and if I execute it, you can see that welcome to procedure in SQL Server. The body of the the stored procedure gets executed. It prints this value. It's a very simple one. Okay, this is how you can create the stored procedure. Once you create the stored procedure, how you can use it? You need to use the execute command. So calling a stored procedure, to call a stored procedure, calling a stored procedure, you need to use execute command. That's all. Okay. Or simply, let's say, I just say simply display name. Let's see, if this is going to work without using execute. I vaguely remember, I think it should work. Yes, it's working. Okay. the stored procedure name. Directly also you can give it, and if you select that stored procedure name, execute, it works. So it's a very simple one, right? We'll start with a simple one, and then we will get into a little bit complex one, okay? And next one is, for example, we'll start with another example, okay? This is fine, printing, welcome, everything is fine, but how it is going to be helpful, how I can use it with my select statement or something like. For example, I just copy paste the same thing here, the next stored procedure. Here what I do is, instead of using print, I'm going to say select e name, employee name, comma salary from employee table end. That's all, okay? And I just give some, get employee salary, okay? I'm going to get employee salary, okay? This is my stored procedure name. I'm going to create it now. Now my stored procedure is ready. How can I call the stored procedure? Simply you can put it here, execute, and then followed by that you can put it, press F5 keyboard. I just use keyboard. Look here. All you need to just call the stored procedure using execute, okay, or directly you can click on this. Ideally you can use execute, okay. So what happens, this stored procedure, right, inside this body, whatever I written, it one in this one gets executed. For example, you are using a select query for joining multiple tables, left join, right join, all the things someone created on your behalf. Your job is simply call the procedure. You don't have to have the headache of writing, the complex logic, everything. Once the logic has been written, the common logic, you can use it. The simple example, payroll, somebody has already written the logic for that, they come to compute the salary, everything, right, net salary or everything. So in that case you don't have to redo the same thing. You can simply call the stored procedure. It gives you the net salary. It computes the basic salary, and deductions it computes, and then earnings it computes. It subtracts the deduction from earnings. It gives you the answer, right? That's all. Supposing you want to modify this stored procedure, this you have written the logic and later sometime. So in that case, the only way out is you can drop the stored procedure and recreate, but you don't have to drop it. You have an alter command here, okay? Alter command. And for example, here I just want to modify the stored by specifying that order by salary and descending order. Okay, so that I want to see the top salary drawn by the employees. Okay, so salary descending I've given. I'm going to execute it now. So how do you modify your procedure? Modify the line, you can use alter. Okay, execute it now. You can see that the highest salary displayed for second highest salary, third highest salary, something like that. Okay. So now you learned how to create a simple stored procedure, what is syntax for it, and how to modify the existing stored procedure. And we will look at little bit, the advanced part of the stored procedure. So create procedure name. And here I mentioned of the parameter, order ID, customer ID, order date, and follow the parameter. I mentioned about the data type. Okay. And as is the keyword. Okay. You need to define all the parameter followed by the create procedure statement. And once you are done with that, followed by that, you can specify as, and then begin end, you need to type it. And in between that, you need to specify this logic. So I have a table called orders. What I do is I just select store from orders. Look here, orders table is there. I don't have to type the name also. So how many orders I have it? I have 8 orders. Okay. I wanted to insert some data into this orders table. So all the logic someone has written already here. So only thing is what I need to do is I need to call the stored procedure. How do I call the stored procedure? Execute. Instead of giving execute, I can specify the short form exec. Okay. And then your stored procedure name is insert order followed by the stored procedure. For each parameter, you need to specify the value. You want to insert a new order. Okay, in this case, 1006 is there. What I will do is 1008, I will put it here. New record will, customer ID is, let's 6, and let's put some other date. Okay, and total amount is 1,450. So, and, the new the existing customer, in a different order, he spent this much money. All you need to do is, how much money, what is the customer ID, and what are order ID, order date, total amount. These values you need to specify for the corresponding parameter which you mentioned it in your procedure, right? Store procedure. Okay, that's all, guys. If you do this, you don't have to write insert statement all the headaches. Okay, you don't have that headache. I just click on the could not find stored procedure. Okay, I need to create this one. Okay, I need to create this one. Command created and execute insert order. One row affected, and I'm going to use select star from orders now. You can see that 9 records are there. So order ID, order number 1008. Can you see that? This one got inserted, this record. You might be asking this one, can't I insert, can't I use insert statement? Why should I use this one? So here, once you put all your logic here, your job is simply call the stored procedure and simply put some data value. So these 1008 will get copied to order ID, 6 will get copied to customer ID. This value, all these values on the right side, right? That one will get copied to this respective parameter. And this parameter is nothing but now, right? 1008. And this 6 will get copied here, this one will get copied, this one will get copied. These values will get inserted into orders table. Now you're all set. So you don't have to have the headache of writing this big lines of code. Instead, simply call this stored. Now you understood the advantage using stored procedure. Stored procedure you will solve your complex logic. You don't say it's not to solve your complex logic. Once you write your the common logic, right? So that can be reused. You don't have to again and again, whenever you want to insert a new order, you don't have to use insert into values, right? You don't have to do it. Simply call the store procedure, pass the values to the parameter. That's it, guys. But make sure that whenever you use a parameter in a store procedure, you are going to pass the value or throw an error. For example, if I don't specify one parameter value here, and if I execute this, it will throw an error. For example, I just look here, I just select it here itself. When I execute it, it will throw an error. Expects parameter total amount which was not supplied. If you use 4 parameter, you need to make sure that you are passing the value for the 4 parameter. In case any one of the parameter, if you think, right, you don't need to pass, put null here. Okay. But you need to mention the 4 parameter here. Okay. See here also, right, you don't have to specify the parameter name. Simply put 1008, comma 6, comma, one single line itself you can put 100 followed by the stored procedure name, space 1008, comma 6, comma, date, comma, total amount. You can specify execute, it will get executed, no issues. Okay. But for us to make sure that what is 1008, so the same parameter name, we are using it here. So this is the proper way of coding. Okay. Fine. So insert order with output parameter. As I told you, using stored procedure, you can pass the input parameter. You can pass the output parameter also. Look here. Here I have used something called scope identity. Okay, what is scope identity? Scope identity is a built-in function. Okay, this scope identity is a built-in function using which you can what is it? Yeah. So it's basically this function, right? It's a built-in function. It returns the last identity value. So here in this case, if you see the orders table here, where is the orders table? I created it. Okay, fine. You leave it that one. Next order ID. What is the next order ID? It will give you that. Okay. Okay. Here, the same stored procedure, but different name. I've given it for this one. Customer ID, order date, total amount, all the things. Total amount is obviously a decimal number data type. Date is a date type, an integer data type, and order ID is the integer data type, output parameter. Here, instead of specifying something like this, followed by the variable parameter, I specify data type, and then I put additional keyword output. So in this case, what happened? Insert all the values in order table and set new scope identity. Scope identity, what it does is, right, retrieve the ID of the newly inserted order. What I will do is I'll just create the new, execute the stored by stored, which is working fine. And I'm going to call the stored procedure. I'll explain you next later. Okay, here what happened, our column does not allow nulls. Okay. Here while creating the table, I should have mentioned about the identity. Okay, 1 second. Oh, very difficult to sit here. We have a command called identity. Okay, that is available in SQL Server like in other functions. Okay, and here what you can do is you can specify identity. Identity command will help to generate the values automatically. For example, you want to generate the order ID automatically, 1, 2, 3, something like that. Okay. You can use set identity. Okay. Sorry, you can use identity while you create the table. So once you are create the table with the identity for the order ID column, whenever you insert the data into the table, excluding the order ID, what happens is all the 1 second here. Yeah. So all the order ID will get generated automatically, it will get stored. And if you want to find out what is the next order ID, that kind of a situation, the scope identity is very much helpful. So in this case, I just, use the declare order ID int. Okay. And here, as usual, the execute command, I need to use it to call the stored procedure. Customer ID, order date, total amount. New order ID is nothing but this order ID. Okay. And select at order ID, see output. Followed by that, I mentioned output. Okay. And here, the new order ID is the parameter name. And followed by that, I mentioned about this variable order ID as an output. So that means, whatever the order ID that gets generated automatically by the system, that one will be, stored here and select order ID, as new order ID. So with this, I can find out what is the next order ID. See, the order ID get generated, guys. Here, the order ID get generated automatically by the system. You just think that way, okay? But there is a function to find out what is the next order ID. Because the order ID 1, 2, 3 get generated automatically. We don't have to insert it. Look here. Here, did I use order ID? No, right? Customer ID order. Because I don't have to specify the order ID because the system itself generates. That one I'll show you tomorrow. Okay. Create table, the column name, order ID. Followed by that, you need to use identity. Okay. When you use identity, look here. Yeah. We have something like, where is that? The create table. See here, you have the, where is that orders table? Yeah, here it is there, right? And inventory, not this one, primary key. So order ID. So instead of primary key, right, you can specify identity here. For example, if I say one by one, it's a primary key. Okay, and listen orders one. Okay, and if I do this, table got created, and I'm going to use the insert statement. See here, in this case, right, order ID also I'm inserting it. But in the case of orders one, I don't have to insert the order ID. Order ID is the first value. I'm going to remove it. Okay. And even here also, I'm going to remove it. Order ID is the primary key column. If I don't insert it, it will throw an error. But while creating the table, we use the command called identity. What this identity does is, it will, it will insert automatically. It will generate an order ID whenever you insert the data for the rest of the columns. Okay. Automatically. Auto generation. Okay. Column order ID. Okay. Okay. What I do is I just say drop table. I just remove the primary key here. Okay, and now I just do the insert here null column or the table column does not allow nulls. Int identity 1 comma 1. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. What I will do is I'll just say order ID, identity, comma, one, comma. Okay, that I will tell you later. Okay. So at this moment, you just think, okay, the order ID you don't have to specify. That is the one generated automatically. So once that has been generated, our objective of this stored procedure is we want to check what is the next order ID. That one will be generated, right? So for that purpose, I have written it. Somehow I don't remember the syntax. I will explain you that one later point in time. Okay. Fine, guys. With this, I'm going to wrap up the session. Today's session, we have explored what are the set operators that are available in SQL Server, and also we have seen what is stored procedure. Before that, we have seen the transaction control language related commands, the begin transaction, commit, rollback, and save point. Also, we have seen save point transaction. Also, we have seen it, and with demo, we have seen it. Next one, we have looked at the stored procedure. Only thing is the output parameter, right? I will show you with another example in the next session. What we'll do is we'll continue upcoming Tuesday. In the meanwhile, you can see what I did.